Well, here we go. FIFA Nations Cup for the 2023 season. This is the big one. The $300,000 game of FIFA. 2 legs of FIFA coming right up. Who will crown themselves as 2v2 world champions? If you are looking to follow along at home with individual player curses, individual player movements in the game, the captain of this Brazilian side is PH, and he's played in every single matchup throughout the C Nations journey so far, and it will be Resende with that orange circle above his head in the Brazilian side. On the opposite side, Levy David, no surprise, is the captain with that blue triangle. That sort of turquoise green will be Emre Yilmaz.
You've already seen a couple of attacks starting to take shape. That over-the-top through ball for the Netherlands. Brazil looking to play down the byline, driven passing side. That's risky.
Oh, Resende picked that one up with R9. Did not expect to get the ball there, and I mean, I don't think they expected to give it away.
First 8 minutes, hospital pass straight across your own box. Way to get the blood pumping.
As we said on the build-up, both of these teams have experience of 0-0 first leg games. Only look back to France against Brazil in the semi-final. Alternatively, the semi-final that the Netherlands have to play. First Elastico or two. Here's Emre Yilmaz, showing what he can do. Such a great mechanical player, Richard, this year. We've seen it individually, how good he's been. Became a European champion just a few months ago in Istanbul.
Yeah, a lot of people argue best player in the world as well, Emre Yilmaz. And it's hard to do that when all the other players, all the other pros here, even the attendance in Riyadh, say you're the best, to then go and back it up, to then go and qualify for multiple tournaments, to go and win the biggest tournament up to date outside of the FIFA Nations.
Well, the wild thing about Emre Yilmaz, 18 years of age, this is only his second year competing. Please
Incredible.
keep that in mind. 2 years in a row he's played in that time. Back-to-back E-World Cup Grand Finals. E-Nations Grand Final as Brazil looks to build up on their first real chance of the game. Milinkovic-Savic, couple of step-overs. Here's Brazil now back to Resende. Big save from Courtois. And it's the first shot fired from Brazil.
It's a nice build-up play. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic involved for both teams. He was the 6'8" player in the middle of the pitch, if you're unfamiliar with his appearance.
Here's for Dembele. Here's the Netherlands now. Little stab at that from R9. Just couldn't quite find his full conviction through the shot.
Both teams had big chances. I love the press.
No, Emre Yilmaz, big win back for Emre. There could be a chance for Levy, and it's the Netherlands that strike first. You simply cannot make a mistake like that in a grand final.
You also have to applaud the pressing of the Netherlands. It looked a pretty simple pass out the back. They were on it, they were quick, they were electric. And it's been a really good start from both nations. Brazil could have gone 1-0 up with that shot across the goalkeeper. The Netherlands come down the other end, they sustain the attack and get their just rewards.
You're right though, Richard, the timing of that press from Emre Yilmaz. It just passed over to his teammate, Levy David. It's the Netherlands that lead by a goal to 0 here. Fun fact for you, they've never matched up, these two nations, in the Nations series at all, from FIFA 19 to last year in Copenhagen and even this year. Obviously, respectively, in different regions on the online qualifiers. But when they've got to LAN in terms of group stages, bracket runs, they've never matched. The first time they are matching is in a grand final.
We said it might be a 0-0 in the opening leg. We were wrong. The Netherlands coming out with a real, you've got a game plan. That's not something that you just spur of the moment do. It's a conscious decision to say, yeah, we're going to start on the front foot and we're going to really try and press this Brazilian side into a mistake, and it's exactly what they did.
Well, we also know what this Netherlands side can do too, Richard, in terms of just ripping their opponents apart. Morocco had such a good tournament, but struggled in that second leg against them. Here's Resende now, back to PH in Brazil on the hunt for a way back in the tie. So much pressure there from Emre Yilmaz. Had to just panic and get the ball clear with Russell on there. Brazil still in the ascendancy of the Netherlands. Keeping on that long throw into the box. They go for it. Milinkovic-Savic is there on a knockdown, but he's also there on the defensive side for the Netherlands.
Yeah, you remember when it used to be Ruud Gullit and Cristiano Ronaldo defending each other. A repeat of that.
Emre Yilmaz, what have you got for me? On this side of the pitch, big win from Brazil. If you have just tuned in, it's the Nations Grand Final. Keep an eye on another long throw potentially. Maybe not needed this time. Hullet happy to pick up the ball. The Netherlands looking for a second. Back to R9. Little reverse to Lastico. It wasn't needed, but he also didn't expect to get that much time and that much room on the ball.
The goalkeeper movement, again, really, really important for Brazil. They committed to that far side. He shifted him all the way across.
Camavinga keeping on his run. Pickpockets. Russell of a couple of step-overs. It's nice. Still patient is PH. Oh, that's superb. Savic will twist, will turn. Oh, no! Ousmane Dembele will not want to see that one again.
Huge opportunity missed. I love the pass from the corner right onto the edge of the box, onto the D. It just opens and splits open that defence. You then knock it into your striker, you knock it into your attacking players that you expect to hit the back of the net. So once in a blue moon. Miss from Ousmane Dembele.
Well, they worked it so nicely, didn't they? Potentially last chance of the first half it. What a throw in. Inside their own half. Long throw maybe. Emre Yilmaz teased the idea. Now it's Levy. Happy to play it short. There is one Dutch player that has had such a key part of this team. Frankie de Jong partners alongside Ruud Hullet in the midfield. Been the ultimate box-to-box midfielder. Drift this one in. Here's a shot for Hullet. Sticks the hands of Courtois. Will they get it clear? Yes, they will. And we'll take a breather into half-time. The Netherlands still lead by a goal to nil, but it very nearly, Richard, could have been 2 goals to nil.
A frantic first 45 minutes, it has to be said. Both teams attacking well, opening up their opponents on multiple different occasions. Let's have a look at some of the key moments from this first half of action. It's a shot, and just look at the bottom of the screen when they try to play this out. Look at the radar there. He flicks onto him and he presses him with Henry high up the pitch. Then it's all about the cutback. Do you have it? Yes, they do. And a great finish. This is a huge chance. Ousmane Dembele.
I mean, that's Emre Yilmaz there. We said this guy is a bit of a FIFA monster. Look at what he's done this year in 1v1. Only 18 years of age, second year competes, and already earned over $130,000 in prizing for a player that very casually just played FIFA last year, from what we heard. Then Team Hullet picked him up, continued to develop him, and now look at him playing in the biggest tournaments in the world. Fantastic press. A couple of ball rolls just set up for his teammate Levy, who still had a job to do. And he did that job just right. Back on the way. The second half here. And if you have been following the nations throughout the group stage and the knockout, you'll be very familiar. There are a couple of differences in the teams. There was a draft process that was followed for this tournament. Here's the Netherlands for a second. Wilfried Zaha gets that one clear. But back to the point, any of these nations were allowed to choose 3 guaranteed players in their team. Expect them to be R9, Mbappe and +1. For the Netherlands, they went for Ruud Hullet, of course they did. And there was another Dutch player on the side of Brazil, Virgil van Dijk, who's had to play his part along that back line. Speaking of someone who has been superb, Wilfried Zaha, shapeshifter, has offered so much on that right-hand side.
Yeah, he's one of those players that's just so versatile. He can play numerous different positions, from right back, right wing back, all the way up to a attacking right-sided midfielder. He needs to do some defensive work on that side at the moment, though.
Finesse from distance was always asking quite a few questions off the shot.
Yeah, if you are Brazil, you're happy for the Netherlands to be taking those sort of strikes. Didn't have the positioning, didn't have the angle. Sailing over the crossbar. For as good as Ruud Hullet is, and he's very good, well, he can pull that out.
There's one thing to pick up, sorry Richard, in terms of the way that Brazil have played the nations. Brazil have never made a sub in-game. They've only made a sub in between fixtures in the group stages. They've never made a sub in between the legs in knockout play. I know they're only 1-0 down. I know I'm building a picture early doors here. It just doesn't seem like it's part of their plans, if ever.
They've also got a very specific type of sub. It's an attacking player, so that they would only bring Paolo on when they're trailing in those knockout matches.
He's Henry. Levy, step overs for a second! Well, how about that? 2-0, the Netherlands lead.
It could be required here. 2-0 down. Both coaches using that device and getting in there with their players. The Brazil need a huge, huge turnaround. The Brazilians, should I say, need a huge turnaround in this matchup.
Just had a feeling going into this grand final that it goes either two ways. The Netherlands just create and create and create that they always seem to do. They did it throughout the group stages with big wins against Saudi Arabia, from Qatar, Canada, the list goes on. But also in the knockout stages, have not conceded a goal since a ball was kicked in the quarter-final first leg. Keep that in mind. Yes, they create, but also defensively so sound.
And those two on your screen look locked in, Levy and Emre. There's been no reason, I'm just going to go back to it when we're talking about Pablo Neto, there's been no reason to, because a lot of those games have been quite tight, they've been quite cagey, and then they've pulled away. You're not bringing Pablo Neto on to see out a 1-0 lead or a 2-0 lead. You're bringing him on when you've got 10 minutes left to go and you're chasing a game.
Well, there was only one team in the nations that beat Brazil on both occasions of meeting them, and it was Singapore, believe it or not. They had a great tournament and still made it into the knockout stages for the first time in their history. No other team has been able to beat Brazil. A couple of questions were asked, a couple of draws here or there in the group stages. But it's all to do now. Here's Resende. Finds Klosterman. PH in, trying to get creative from the edge of the box with the Brazilian Neymar. They're in a dangerous position now, the Netherlands. Keep an eye on the run that Levy is making. It's Emre Yilmaz driving forward to Mbappe. Is it a third? Not yet. Possession still in the hands, though.
You just saw that pace of Mbappe as well. He breezed past him on the byline, got into the box. If they keep creating like this, if they keep getting those byline runs, this could be 3 or 4.
Klosterman. Camavinga. Charging on from fullback again, defensively so sounds. Keen to get your thoughts, Richard. Milinkovic-Savic, we know how good he is, but he just sits in this back five for the Netherlands, and he's just done such a good job of just ticking things over.
Well, he gives you a lot of protection. Anything in the air, you know he's going to be good. You know he's going to be... That's what he's in the team for, but just any sort of block, any sort of interception. He's so big. And I know we've made a joke about his size a few times over the last couple of tournaments, but he just locks on to a lot in that back five. And offensively, if you need a surging centre-back moving forward, if you need someone from a throw-in or from a corner, he just offers you so much. I'm not surprised that in our grand final, the best two nations of the tournament, I'm sure Alex B will like this, is in both teams.
Well, it might get worse for Brazil. Henry towards the back post, Mbappe was there, Klosterman tucks it in the back five as an extra body. Counter-attack. What a ball
nice
that one
pass.
could be. It's a running race between Teo Hernandez and Milinkovic-Savic, who apparently doesn't just defend, he also makes 40, 50-yard runs forward to try and pull the current E-Nations Cup champions. One ball forward, finds Henry. Is there a cutback available back to Hullen? It's going to be dangerous. R9, a couple of skill moves. Let me veered back to Emre Yilmaz. This time it is the Brazilian defender that comes to save the day. Not for that long, though.
I think if we are Brazil, it's been a very subpar first leg performance. It sounds crazy to say. I think you get out of this game with a 2-goal deficit. You go into the second leg knowing, okay, we know what we need to do. We need to put the front foot in the ascendancy. We need to put the foot on the accelerator. We need to start pressing more, just be a little bit more offensively minded, which we know they can do. But this has been a great performance from the Netherlands.
Last chance of the first leg. Can't go back. They did go back. Full time here. What a performance from the Dutch duo, Emre Yilmaz and Levi de Veer, as he just jumps off to go and get a quick drinks break. So in control, so creative with their chances, and just overall, what a leg of FIFA.